Imagine standing at a U.S. grocery checkout, unknowingly served by a young woman who crossed the Pacific with nothing but a tourist visa and a dream. Or a software engineer from rural Vietnam whose name never appears in public records, yet keeps your favorite app running. The United States is home to over 850,000 unauthorized immigrants born in Asia. And behind every number is a silent heartbeat, a hidden struggle, a whispered hope. These are not just data points. They're mothers separated from children, students turned survivors, and workers building America in the shadows. In this episode of the Discovery Trail, we uncover the 10 Asian countries, excluding India, whose nationals quietly make up this overlooked community. Backed by official data and real-life stories, this isn't just about immigration. It's about courage, sacrifice, and the invisible threads that tie global dreams to American soil. Number 1. Philippines. Filipinos have one of the largest foreign-born populations in the U.S., and a significant number arrived without permanent visas. According to U.S. Homeland Security estimates, about 350,000 people born in the Philippines were living in the U.S. without legal status as of 2022. Many left on temporary work or student visas and never returned home or crossed borders under risky conditions. Traditionally, Filipinos have migrated for economic opportunities. They work in healthcare, service industries, or as domestic helpers. Today, many undocumented Filipinos maintain close ties with family back home, sending remittances and hoping to someday secure a visa or citizenship. One migrant's story captures this struggle. In a Manila slum, locals don't talk much about it, but for some families, leaving in secret has become a whispered hope. Maria, a nurse in California, left her 2 children with grandparents and crossed the ocean on a tourist visa. She now works long days in a hospital, fearful of deportation, but committed to providing for her family. Meanwhile, her family back in Iloilo prays for her success. Socially, these undocumented Filipinos often form tight-knit communities in cities like Los Angeles and New York. They attend church gatherings and Filipino festivals under the radar, sharing memories of home. Their contributions are quietly woven into local economies, cooking food in restaurants, building homes, caring for elderly Americans, even as they live with uncertainty each day. This isn't just a statistic. It's someone's mother, brother, friend. Number 2. China. Second only to Mexico, the largest share of unauthorized Asian-born immigrants in the U.S. comes from China. DHS data show roughly 210,000 Chinese nationals living without status in 2022. Many arrived legally on student or work visas and overstayed, while others entered through family connections. For decades, Chinese families have sent young people to study or work abroad, hoping for the American dream. When visas expired, some chose to stay rather than return to China's competitive job market. Consider Lee, a former student in Silicon Valley. He left a rural village for college on the West Coast and landed an internship at a tech startup. When his visa expired, he quietly remained, renting a small apartment and accepting under-the-table jobs. Locals don't talk much about it, but neighborhoods from San Francisco's Chinatown to New York's Flushing Harbor, people like Lee, students by day, shopkeepers, or delivery workers by night. Chinese language newspapers report on cultural events, but seldom on those living in limbo. In cities like Los Angeles and Seattle, Chinese undocumented immigrants help fill roles from restaurant chefs to hotel maids. Community centers and Chinatowns provide some support, yet fear of enforcement keeps many stories hidden. These immigrants send money home, visit family backdoor style, and hope for legal reforms. Their lives remind us that behind every number is a journey, people craving education and economic opportunity despite the risks. Number 3. Vietnam. The Vietnamese American community is large, but after the refugee waves of the 1970s and 80s, today's arrivals are often economic or family migrants. Official estimates of undocumented Vietnamese are smaller, possibly on the order of tens of thousands. But migration researchers note that it has grown in recent years. Many came for university education and stayed or worked in agriculture and industry before overstaying visas. For example, one young man from Ho Chi Minh City secured a student visa in the 2010s. But after graduating, he struggled to find a job with sponsorship and chose to remain illegally. In Vietnamese American enclaves like those in Orange County, California, or Virginia, families often include mixed status members, citizens born here, legal permanent residents, and undocumented elders or siblings. The social impact is intimate. A small business owner in Garden Grove quietly employs a few Vietnamese employees living without papers. He covers medical costs for one longtime cook because he's part of the family, even without legal status. This isn't just a statistic when you see that loyalty and community trust binding a small sushi shop or nail salon together. Yet in official terms, Vietnamese unauthorized immigrants accounted for about 95,000 in one CMS estimate, though DHS doesn't publish detailed breakdowns. What matters most is their human story. Families reuniting across oceans, parents supporting children through college, and refugees' descendants navigating a path to security. Number 4. South Korea. South Korea has a relatively small unauthorized population in the U.S. Some estimates are only a few thousand. However, its Korean American community is significant and diverse, so even a small undocumented fraction implies hundreds of people. Many Koreans come on student or work visas, and those who fall out of status sometimes stay on. Churches and Korean community centers often serve as support networks, regardless of immigration status. One Korean immigrant, Min Jae, arrived in New York as an exchange student. After graduation, he couldn't find an employer to sponsor him, so he remained in the city. Quietly, he found work in a tech startup in Queens. He attends Korean church in the Bronx on Sundays, where no one asks about papers. Faith and fellowship cross borders. Locals don't talk much about it, but at community barbecues and festivals, Koreans share kimchi and karaoke without asking each other's legal status. Many undocumented Koreans end up in professional fields, IT, pharmacy, or in family businesses, restaurants, dry cleaners. They send remittances to relatives in Busan and pay taxes on purchases, contributing to local economies. Their impact is felt more in personal interactions than policy debates. While we lack precise official figures, experts note Koreans make up a noticeable part of the small Asian unauthorized population. Their voices are heard in whispered prayers and private dreams of someday legalizing their stay. Number 5. Pakistan. Pakistani nationals form one of the larger South Asian groups living without status in the U.S. Estimates suggest there may be on the order of 50,000 undocumented Pakistani Americans. Many originally come as students, tech workers, or visitors. A fraction ends up staying without lawful status. Pakistanis in the U.S. often work in engineering, IT, or small businesses. In New York City's Jackson Heights or Chicago's Devon Avenue, Pakistani-run shops and restaurants are cultural hubs. Ahmed, for example, came on a business visa to Atlanta. When it expired, he chose to remain to care for his ill father. This isn't just a statistic when you see Ahmed teaching his American-born son Urdu at home, but slipping into gatherings in the mosque community late at night, careful not to draw attention. Due to high educational levels, many undocumented Pakistanis find professional jobs on the side. They form study groups, book clubs, and Sunday cricket leagues. Social impact is subtle. They help small businesses grow. They mentor newcomer families, but they live with uncertainty. Official sources don't list Pakistan among the very top origins, beyond the other category. But community surveys and advocacy groups confirm their presence. Importantly, Pakistanis in the U.S., documented or not, often connect through family ties. Uncles or cousins who arrived legally help shelter undocumented relatives. The human aspect is key. These are students, entrepreneurs, fathers building a new life while upholding family responsibilities. Number 6. Afghanistan. Since the early 2000s, U.S. wars and conflicts led many Afghans to seek refuge or asylum. Tens of thousands of Afghans came on special visas, and some remained undocumented. One DHS publication did not list Afghanistan in its top 10 because numbers are smaller, on the order of 40 to 60,000 by some counts. However, Afghan unauthorized immigrants often travel through complex routes, sometimes via Southeast Asia or Central Asia. Take the story of Amina, who fled Kabul for neighboring countries and eventually reached the U.S. on a humanitarian visa. Once it expired, she hid in a Detroit suburb, finding odd jobs cleaning homes. She regularly visits an Afghan community center where elders speak Dari. But as she confesses, locals don't talk much about it, meaning they keep quiet about her paperwork. Socially, Afghan immigrants, both documented and undocumented, tend to cluster around New York, Northern Virginia, and California. They maintain cultural networks. The mosque serves as a support center, and Afghan rug-weaving businesses and halal markets sometimes employ fellow countrymen. Many younger Afghans without papers are bilingual. They tutor American classmates in Persian while chasing a degree. Their contributions include enriching cultural diversity and bringing awareness of Afghanistan's plight, even if they cannot openly advocate. The personal toll is high. Afghan parents in the U.S. live with anxiety about family back home, while their children grow up learning resilience and hope. Number 7. Bangladesh. Bangladeshis in the U.S. are a growing community, though most first-generation migrants arrive through legal means, family reunification or student visas. Still, a portion overstay visas or enter without authorization. Estimates suggest the undocumented Bangladeshi population might number in the tens of thousands. One CMS-based estimate was around 39,000. Many work in restaurants, convenience stores, or as healthcare aides. In neighborhoods like New York's Little Bangladesh, Manhattan, or in New Jersey, Bangladeshi immigrants share a strong sense of community. The local mosque, or community hall, is where they seek guidance. Consider Rashid, who came to the U.S. on a tourist visa to attend a cousin's wedding in 2015 and never left. He found work at a halal meat shop in Jersey City. This isn't just a statistic for Rashid. Every weekend he's at the mosque, and every Ramadan he fasts alongside legal neighbors. He pays rent and bills, but lives quietly in the shadow of fear. Socially, undocumented Bangladeshis help sustain family-run businesses. They often take the hardest jobs, early morning shifts in kitchens or cleaning, so that newer arrivals or children can pursue college. In return, they remain tight-knit and closely watched by local elders, who often mediate any conflicts with authorities. Their presence is woven into the cultural fabric of American Bangla communities, even if public discussion is muted. Number 8. Nepal. Nepal is a less obvious source, but data suggest thousands of Nepalis live here without status. One estimate around 36,000. Many came as students or religious volunteers, and some subsequently stayed on without legal permission. Nepali immigrants, documented or not, typically work in IT, hospitality, or healthcare support roles. In cities like Seattle or Minneapolis, Nepali students may overstay visas due to marriage or employment prospects. For example, Sita came to pursue a bachelor's degree and fell in love with the US lifestyle. When her student visa expired, she continued to work part-time and attend church. Only her closest friends know she lacks papers. Socially, Nepali communities are small but active. Community organizations host cultural events like Dashain and Tihar festivals, where undocumented members participate freely. They also rely on Nepali temples and organizations for socializing. Because Nepalese languages are not widely spoken in the US, these networks serve both as cultural lifelines and as safety nets. Locals don't talk much about it, but many Americans of Nepali origin will quietly help an undocumented family member by giving them a job or letting them live in their spare room. In this way, unauthorized Nepalis become part of American life in everyday ways, volunteering at local schools, sharing momos at potlucks, while their immigration status remains unspoken. Number 9. Thailand. Thailand is not often highlighted in US immigration debates, but some Thais do come without status. Many Thais in the US entered as tourists or professionals, and a fraction overstayed. DHS does not list Thailand in its top 10 origin countries, but anecdotal reports and community leaders note a quiet presence. Thai Americans are known for restaurants and small businesses, and some undocumented Thais work in kitchens, landscaping, or domestic service. Imagine a Thai family in Los Angeles. The father came on a visa to study English in 2010 and never left, while his wife and children later joined him through other means. They speak Thai at home, celebrate Songkran with neighbors, and contribute to their local temple. The children are US citizens by birth. This isn't just a statistic, because to this family, America is everyday life. Grocery shopping for Thai basil in Little Thailand, not attending to their paperwork. Socially, undocumented Thais may stay under the radar, integrated into the broader Asian American mosaic. They send New Year greetings via Thai channels on Facebook and support local charities quietly. While we lack precise numbers, their human impact is felt in family dinners and cultural festivals rather than in headline counts. Number 10. Indonesia. Indonesian nationals are another group with a modest, unauthorized presence. Many Indonesians travel to the US as students or tourists, and a small percentage overstay or find other ways to remain. Common employment for Indonesians includes IT, engineering, or service sectors like hotels and cafes. In addition, some enter as international students and take jobs on campus and beyond when their visas end. For instance, consider an Indonesian graduate student in Silicon Valley who secures a tech internship after graduation, but then stays on informally. She rents a small apartment with other undocumented students. They help each other navigate American life, exchanging resmi government info through WhatsApp groups and cooking nasi goreng on weekends to feel at home. Locals don't talk much about it, but in tech meetups or Indonesian community events, these students are present, often sitting quietly, absorbing ideas and connections. They form support networks around internet cafes, mosques for Muslim Indonesians, and churches for others. Socially, unauthorized Indonesians contribute as multilingual cultural bridges, teaching Batak or Javanese folk dance at a community center, or bridging business relationships between Californian firms and Jakarta investors. Each one is a story of ambition and adaptation, of a family believing in education as the path to a better life. From the narrow alleys of Manila to the snowy lanes of Minneapolis, the story of unauthorized Asian immigrants in America isn't written in headlines. It's whispered in kitchens, prayed over in mosques, and shared in quiet resilience. These people are not invaders. They're caregivers, builders, innovators, and dreamers, holding on to hope in a world that often doesn't see them. Behind every undocumented status lies a deeper story, one of sacrifice, ambition, and family. If this video made you think differently, Even for a moment, don't let the story end here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Discovery Trail, and join us as we uncover the human side of the world's most urgent stories. Because sometimes, the lives that shape a nation are the ones we never see.